Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
Amberlin Matise, 24B1475557B. Your name?
Matise.
You're charged with failure to refrain from consuming alcohol or controlled substances. It says you had positive results for opiates on April 15 of 25. If you plead guilty or if you are found guilty, since you have one prior technical violation, you could be incarcerated for a period of 10 days and your 7411 status revoked and the conviction entered. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
Did you sign an advice of rights form here today?
Is it this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
If you plead guilty, you'll be giving up all those rights and there will be no hearing or trial. Do you understand that? You have the right to a lawyer. Be glad to give you one at public expense. Would you like an attorney to represent you?
Am I allowed to speak for myself?
If you choose to waive your right to a lawyer, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea. And then I'm going to go through your rights again and I'm going to ask if you want a hearing.
Okay, so you're no attorney, I'm going to talk for myself.
So you're going to waive your right to a lawyer?
Yeah, and then that makes me plead not guilty, right?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
If you waive your right to a lawyer, we're going to have a hearing today as to whether or not there is sufficient evidence to establish your guilt on testing positive for opiates on April 15 of 25.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, what?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll speak for myself.
Okay, I'm entering a not guilty plea for you. I'm going to get the probation officer in here to testify.
Okay.
So you are maintaining your innocence? Am I understanding you correctly?
Yes, I have paperwork too.
Okay, call in Jessica. I'm gonna enter a not guilty plea. You can have a seat. I'll come back to you momentarily. Do I have Matise? Amberlin Matise. 24B1475557B. Your name again, ma'am?
Matise.
All right, are you sure you want to proceed without a lawyer here?
Oh, yeah, because
Wait. This is the whole scenario that's going to play out. I'm going to swear her to an oath. Your name?
Just hold on.
I'm going to swear her to an oath. And then you're going to be able to ask her questions. And then you're going to be able to testify or remain silent. And if you remain silent, that silence would not be held against you. I'm just cautioning you. If you want to fight this, you're probably better off getting a lawyer. And I can give you one now. Okay? I know you're dying to talk, but I wouldn't suggest you do that. You're telling me you have a prescription for an opiate somehow, some way. Does she have a prescription?
She has a prescription. The prescription was filled in December of 2023, though, Your Honor.
This is 25.
and
I don't want you to say anything against your interest. I want to get you a lawyer. You can't have a prescription laying around for years. I had surgery once. I got Norco. I probably should have thrown them away. I've never used them. You can't use a prescription. It's 2 years old. So if you want me to get you a lawyer, I'm going to encourage you to do that. I'm going to get you a lawyer. Do you want me to get you a lawyer?
yeah.
Okay. It's not that easy. Whenever anybody wants to talk real quickly, I can always tell they have the wrong opinion or idea about what's going to happen. So we'll set her up with a lawyer if you would, John. Thank you. We'll call you again. Best of luck, people against Matise. Amberlin Matise, 24B1475557B. I'm going to need in here Jessica. All right, counsel. What is she doing on this? Your appearance?
German has been Amber Matise. She's been guilty of the violation.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Your name?
Matise.
All right, this would be a second violation. You could get 10 days. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, did you sign, read, and understand an advice of rights form here today?
Yes.
If you plead guilty, you will be giving up all those rights and there will be no hearing or trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, to the charge. You failed to refrain from consuming alcohol or drugs testing positive for opiates on April 15th of 25. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Did you test positive for opiates on that date? April 15th?
Yes.
What did you have again?
I'm more.
How, and you had the Norco prescription was given to you in 23?
At the very end, yes, December,
Any, of 23?
yes.
Anybody force you to plead guilty? I'll accept your plea. Can you tell me what compelled her to take a Norco in the middle of probation?
Then she had some oral pain. She had the old Norco prescription. And she didn't realize that that was prohibited under the terms of the probation. And she took it.
You had to know we weren't gonna buy that, didn't you?
I'm sorry.
You had to know that we weren't gonna buy that. You can't have a prescription from 2 or 3 years ago and then come in and use it and then say, I thought I could use it.
No, I really didn't know. I really didn't know. I thought, I got a broken tooth right on the side of my mouth. Like, it's like, heck, I can't get into a dentist state, so just pull your teeth.
When's your dentist appointment?
I can't get into one. I don't have insurance. My kids got it. I wish my kids got insurance.
Can I ask you your name now?
Just put on behalf of probation.
What do you wanna say?
She's compliant otherwise, Your Honor. She's engaged in outpatient substance abuse treatment. She's completed 16 of her 26 hours of community service. She still has till May 1st to get the rest of those hours completed. I've had a conversation with her.
I'm sorry, she has until what day to
She
get?
has until May 1st to get the remaining 10 hours into me. But yeah, she's compliant. Otherwise, we had a conversation. She was under the impression that just because it was in her name, she thought she was okay. I stated to her that again, it has to be a valid prescription. So something from 2 years ago would not be valid anymore. I also informed her too that if she was having issues, to go to a primary care doctor to get the prescription. She does have other prescriptions in her name that are valid, but that Norco is not valid, Your Honor.
Anything else? Any recommendation you have?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else you would like to say, either one of you, Mr. Haynes?
No, Your
All right, Ms. Matisse?
I was just wondering, I know I got to May 1st, but I've had to bring my kids for the community service, so I do. Is there any way I could get just a little bit of extra time for the extra 10 hours?
You gotta keep your voice up.
Oh, is there any way I can get just a little bit of extra time for the extra 10 hours? Because I took my kids with me to do the 16 of them.
Where'd you take them? Where are you doing your community service?
At the daily church.
At the where?
The daily church,
Where's that?
off Dixon King. In Brownstown.
You said 10? Is that how many we have?
I get 10
What?
hours.
Yep, she has 10 more hours left, Your Honor.
Pay additional cost of 75, serve 8 hours of community service by May 21. Total 18 hours. I'll extend all of that to May the 21st, okay? So you have to have 18 hours done by May the 21st, okay?
Okay,
Can you pay the 75 now?
no.
When can you pay that?
Can I put it with the rest of my payment?
I'll tell you what, I'll just have you pay this by May 21. Can you do that?
I can try, yeah, I only work the weekends.
Well, how long do you need? Just tell me how long.
I was just trying to get it with the rest of my payments, if I could do that. And put it in with the rest of my payments that I pay them.
How much are you paying a week or bi-weekly?
I'll be 50 a month,
50 a month?
yeah. And 4 months.
Okay, when,
She's still on probation, Your Honor, until she has a prosecutor review in January of 2026.
I'll just say this, paid by July 21, 25 on this, okay?
Oh, thank you.
If you need more time, call the court, we'll go on Zoom, I'll give you an extension, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Chaz Daniel Miller. Do I have Nicholas Lawson here?
Yes.
People against Nicholas Lawson. This is file 24564.
Everyone names back Nicholas Lawson. Judge, this was the transfer case from.
Yeah, I know, we haven't heard. What's going on?
What's that?
Can you tell who's, you haven't seen this, have you, Lisa? I can't tell whose writing this is. Your name?
My name is Nicholas Lawson. Really?
Wyandottes on Zoom, Judge.
Oh, good, thank you. Okay, great, perfect. Is that Ms. Shine?
Yes, speaking.
Good morning. Can you start your video, please?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for coming. So I'm going to reiterate here, defendant I believe, is this the case that where he was sentenced by Judge DeSanto and then there was some issue and he moved to disqualifier? Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Why you showing up like that? You got a dirty shirt.
I came in from work.
All right, fair enough. All right, so Ms. Shine, he pled guilty. I need to find the probation violation. It looks like he pled guilty to count 1, positive for alcohol, on February 17. Count 2, positive for alcohol on March 18. And he pled not guilty as to count 3, that the test result was diluted. So I can do one of two things. I could probably swear you in and we can have a hearing on count 3, unless he's willing to change his plea. Or I could just go ahead and sentence him on the 2-count violation. What would?
He wasn't actually contesting count 3. The court entered the not guilty plea. And what we'd indicated to the court at the time was he wasn't really clear on what a dilute sample meant.
Did you talk to him about it
I
now?
have talked to him about it, and he acknowledges that he likely drank too much water before that test.
All right, so do you want to plead guilty? Does he want to plead guilty to that?
That's fine.
Do you want to plead guilty to that?
Sure.
If you plead guilty now, you've got at least 3 technical violations. Does he have any more violations on this case, Ms. Shine?
He actually just tested, his last test, April 15th was dilute too, so. and
Say
he-
that again?
His last test, April 15th, was diluted too.
If you plead guilty here to dilute sample, sir, on April 1, I want you to understand that that would be another technical violation. And you could be incarcerated for up to 15 days. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. May I?
Hang on. May you what?
So I work outside.
I don't want to hear about it.
I drink.
I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it. If you don't want to plead guilty, we'll have a hearing. You can't, I don't want to hear this. Come on. Do I look like I'm 9? I mean, seriously, we're talking about time periods back in March. Was it that hot? How hot was it on March the 31 and 30? You know? I don't want to hear it. Tell somebody else this. Go tell your lawyer, tell your mother, tell whoever you want. I don't want to hear it. If you want to have a hearing, I'll swear Ms. Shine to an oath and we'll have a hearing. And you can tell me all day long how hard you work and how hot it is and how thirsty you get. But if you're telling, your lawyer just got done telling me you're pleading guilty. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. This United States, we can have a hearing. I have no problem. You want to have a hearing?
No, Your Honor.
Are you sure?
No, Your Honor. I just want to stop.
Hang on a second. Keep your voice up. If you want to have a hearing, I'm going to give you one. But your lawyer just told me you're pleading guilty. Now she tells me you were dilute on another sample. I don't have any problem. We'll go to a hearing. If that's what you want to do, I don't have any problem, but I don't want to hear from your lawyer. He's pleading guilty and then start hearing you tell me how hard you work and how hot it is and how much water you have to drink. What do you want to do? You want to talk to your lawyer further?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Shine, just unmute and I'll recall this case, okay?
Okay,
Thank you. Ms. Shine, you can come back in, please. People against? Nicholas Lawson. Again, I'm sitting as a Riverview or Wyandotte District Judge, I should say, on this. 24-564. Judge DeSanto, disqualified. Your name?
Nicholas Lawson.
Your name?
Sherwood Hansbeck, Nicholas Lawson.
What does he want to do?
He's pleading guilty on the, whatever count 3 was, and if there's going to be a new violation.
We're not going to do that right now.
Then he's just pleading guilty.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
The chart, and again, if you plead guilty, you're giving up all the rights on the advice of rights. Do you understand that?
Yes,
And you're
sir.
sure that's what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
The charge, having a dilute sample on April 1/25, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right, did you test dilute on that day?
Yes, sir.
You're drinking too much water to mask the results. That's what it is. You know it, I know it, so please don't tell me differently. I'll accept your plea. The results were dilute, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that is with regard to the test of April 1?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Ms. Shine, You guys tell them how much water they can and can't drink, right?
Yes, they know exactly. I mean, especially since he's been testing for a while and his last few after his positive have been diluted.
What, you think this case was gonna end up in limbo and you weren't gonna have to comply with rules anymore?
No, Your Honor.
Well, I mean, I don't know what happened, but it sounds like, how long was he on probation to Judge DeSanto?
Oh, 1 minute, I'm sorry.
When was he placed on probation? Can you tell me?
About 10 months ago.
10 months ago. So then you got these and then you moved to disqualifier, right?
He has until December.
Since December?
Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
that's not, how do you come up with 10 months? That's
But,
cool.
no, he has until December for probation to end. His sentence date was on, June 24th, 24.
Okay, so June 24th, so that is 10 months. All right, good enough. So she placed him on probation for about 18 months, is that right?
That's correct.
What do you want to say? Why is he doing this?
Judge, he is, considering to be in treatment. We were going to,
I didn't hear you, Mr. Haynes. He what?
he's getting in treatment. Is that right, sir?
What, did Judge DeSanto order him into treatment?
He was supposed to go to substance abuse counseling, and then he had mentioned to me that he was gonna go into treatment, but then doesn't seem to follow through with a lot of what he said.
You mean like, so June of 24, she told him to go to treatment, he still hasn't gotten in
No,
treatment?
he's been going to counseling. That was what he was ordered, was counseling, which he was doing.
Is that personal counseling, not substance abuse?
Substance abuse counseling, which he was doing.
All right, and what did he stop?
Well, then he got in trouble for a violation, and then he said he was going to go into treatment because he needed help. And he never continued with his IOP because he said he was working too much.
Your Honor, I am working with a different therapist, and they're called Detroit Rescue Ministry. They do both.
When did you start this?
I believe I stopped IOP.
Started?
No, I stopped IOP because I was going to IOP at the Guidance Center, and then I.
Well, man, wait. Let's talk about when you started there and when you stopped going there.
I started doing IOP at the Guidance Center, I believe, 2 to 3 months after I got pulled.
Is that true, Ms. Shine? Was it like September or late August when he got into treatment? At the guidance center?
That's
Well,
correct.
And when did he stop going? Do your records indicate?
That was about 2 months ago because he kind of was going and then he would stop and then his therapist texted me and said he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. Then all of a sudden he decided to change to DRMM.
So, here, this is like how do I say this? I mean, it's a product. This is the product of you not going. You end up drinking again, you end up diluting, trying to mask it. It's a product of your failure to comply with the probation terms. This is not good. I'm just telling you. And then, like, you're doing the same thing. What other day did he test positive? Did you tell me? April what?
15th was diluted. He tested today. I didn't get those results, but April 15th, he was diluted again.
All right. And then you want to come in here and tell me because you work outside. Listen, there's no exclusion for people who work outside. You know how much water you could drink, and you know it wasn't overly hot at the end of March. I don't know why you'd come in and tell me that. If you can't comply with probation, you better find, working at that job, you better find another one.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know what to do with him, Ms. Shine. Do you have any recommendation here?
Well, the recommendation I had was for a tether for one. There's been a lot of excuses and I don't know.
For an alcohol tether you talking about?
Yes,
Oh, I see. You prepared this. You guys prepare them in writing. You recommending 60 days tether and 10 days jail, right?
correct.
See, they're not playing around. How much you make an hour?
24,
How many hours do you work?
it periodically changes. I don't know until I
What's the
go.
range?
Between 12 and 14 hours a day.
Seriously?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many days a week?
Right now, we're on 6 days.
So let's call it 6 hours times 12, 6 days times 12, let's just go that, 72, and you said you make $20 an hour?
About 20, 30, 24, yes, Your Honor.
That's $1,480. It's a lot of money
Yes, Your
that
Honor.
you're gonna miss out on
Yes, Your
if I
Honor.
send you to jail for 10 days.
Yes, Your
Plus, that's only on a 7-day week. They're recommending 10 days. I don't know what you're thinking. The fact that you tested dilute again troubles me. You're just playing games. Is this his first violations?
Yes. Well, hold on.
I don't think you're taking it very seriously. I don't think you're taking the judges very seriously.
I've been,
Finish it. Nothing.
with the DRMM, we've been talking about.
With what?
With the DRMM group, we've been looking into NAs and AAs, along with taking a shot called Vivitrol, which we are in the process, I see for tomorrow, so I can follow up on that.
I'm sorry, are you still looking here, Shine, to see if he had any priors?
The last one I had was on the 17th. I believe that's what's on this one. Am I correct? Because this was in March. So yes, no, this is his first. His first 3 violations. Yes. He did actually, no, he had a non-technical. I'm sorry. He did have a non-technical. And he did get a GPS tether on that one.
Who's the non-technical for?
For violating the no contact order.
Ooh. When did that happen?
I'm sorry, I'm looking.
It's
right
okay,
now.
take your time. I know it's confusing when these cases get.
This happened in August of 24.
All right, so you're recommending 10 days jail and 60 days on the tether and another $50 in fines and costs, right?
Correct. We could do 60 days tether, suspend the 10 days if he continues into really gives himself into treatment, like commits himself. But the tether, I do want him on a tether.
Guys. How often do you have him testing now?
He's been testing since July 9th.
But how often?
Oh, now he was up to 3 times a month.
3 times a month?
Yes, we can increase that.
You guys have a court work program?
At this time, we do not. We have community service we're signing them up for.
I don't know, somehow somebody's gonna have to type up an order, maybe you can get with our probation department, or you guys do it and send it over, please. So here's what I'm gonna do. If I let everybody finish?
Yes, Judge.
And he's scheduled to come off probation when again?
December 24th.
You might wanna write this down. I'm gonna give you one more chance. I hope you understand I'm serious, because if this happens again, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna do. You now have 3 technical violations. You get one more, I can revoke and send you to jail for the whole time. I'll make a note you had a prior non-technical violation for violating the no contact provision back in August. You're to pay additional costs of $100. Those are to be paid to this, the Wyandotte District Court. You're to be on an alcohol or scram tether or SoberLink device by the end of the day. I don't care which you choose. The SoberLink device is one that you'll blow into, machine that you'll blow into, as opposed to a scram tether, which tether will alert us if there's any alcohol in your system. You're to serve 16 hours of community service by June the 1st. You're to complete intensive outpatient treatment. You're to test weekly for 2 months, then bi-weekly for 2, then monthly. So if you're clean for 2 months, I'm gonna revert your weekly testing to bi-weekly. If you're clean for 2 months after that, I'm gonna revert your testing to monthly. So again, $100 cost, 16 hours community service by June 1. You're to be on an alcohol or SoberLink device by the end of the day. I think I'm gonna send him over there and have you guys deal with that, okay? Could he come over when he
Yes,
leaves
that's
here?
fine. Yes,
And then you're to complete intensive outpatient treatment and test weekly for 2 months, then bi-weekly for 2 if you're clean, and then monthly. So you'll notice I'm not giving you the jail. If this happens again, that's where you're going. You have 21 days to appeal, 14 days to apply for a court-appointed lawyer. Stop trying to fool people, okay? Got it?
Yes, Your Honor. For the intensive outpatient, what exactly do you mean? Do I go back to the Guidance Center?
I don't care. You're gonna deal with them. I want it to be an intensive outpatient treatment, okay? Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Luciana,
thank you.
thank you very much, Ms. Shine. Thanks, Mr. Haynes.